It's a grey and murky day at Lalande, a day for staying snuggled up in bed with a good cup of tea. But that is not what we can do. We are going on an awfully big adventure, jumping into the trusty Intermarché hire van and driving across France, through Switzerland, and all the way across Italy to get to Venice, where we're going to be collecting some incredibly exciting furniture for Lalande. Those of you who saw our trip to Venice at the beginning of 2022, when we went with a big group of friends for Carnival, will know that we stayed in the Bauer Palazzo Hotel. It's a beautiful palazzo on the Grand Canal. Lots and lots of famous people, Hollywood stars and royalty have stayed there in the past. But since our visit there, it's been closed for a complete renovation. And as part of that, they sold every scrap of furniture from the entire palazzo. And we have got some very, very exciting things for Lalande. There's going to be a 2-day drive there for 1 day in Venice and then a 2-day drive back again. I'm just going to pop in to say goodbye to all of our guests at breakfast. Good morning, everyone. Hello. Give a big kiss to the guests when they finally go. I said goodbye this morning, but... Okay, bye. Enjoy. Thanks. Bye. I'm going to miss you a lot. Have a lovely time. My aunt is going to be gone by the time we get back. Yeah. But I'll see you in England. We will see each other. Will be back. And your mother will be back. Oh gosh, I'm so looking forward to that. We can have an argument. Carefully.
Will do.
You know, the Marquis told me that when we put water back in the lake, yes, told me many years ago, you must make sure that you always put one carnivorous fish in, because it keeps the others active. And that's how I feel about Mummy. That's Mummy. Well, that's a nice thing.
Oh, what a lovely...
Can't live without that.
I will never think of you again without thinking about pie.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm going to kick off the driving.
but she's much prettier than a pie.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
I am ridiculously excited about this van trip. 4-day drive for 1 day in Venice. That is worth it. Oh, actually.
Do you know which way to go?
Which way is it to Italy?
So that's usually north, so I'm guessing that one?
No, we actually want to go across France, but I'm pretty sure it's not on that.
It's definitely not straight.
Google Maps? This is the most relaxing view imaginable after a 5.5-hour drive, and judging by the state of the sun, we have arrived just in time for dinner. But first, there's really only one aperitif that you can have in this place. Cheers. I am going to sleep so well tonight. This is the most relaxing place to stay. Good morning, Lake Leman, or as many of you will know it by its other name, Lake Geneva. Lake Leman was its original name, but in the 16th century, everyone started calling it Lake Geneva as the city started to gain in power. But in the 18th century, the French officially changed it back to its original name, Lake Leman. So it's known as that in France, and Lake Geneva pretty much everywhere else. There's Philip arriving with the trusty steed, so we can pack up all of this and get on with the nearly 7-hour drive ahead of us. Things are back inside, and there in the van you see the triumph of optimism over reality. I think I brought 3 outfits for my 1 day in Venice. And not only do I not need 3 outfits, I've just found out it's going to be raining the whole day that we're there tomorrow. Google told us to get off the motorway into a car park. We're like, oh, it's made some error. It then said get onto the train. I've just looked it up, and apparently it's a train that you drive your car onto, and it takes you under the mountain, and then it's only 20 minutes between Switzerland and Italy. And I've no idea whether we can fit a van on the train. Presumably it's not that train, because clearly we're not going to be able to drive onto that. So Philip is currently in that little kiosk trying to work out what's going on. Oh, he's coming back with a piece of paper. Can we get on the train?
Yeah, I've paid. And
Are you serious?
next one's going in like half an hour.
Is that how happy we're going to be?
Not far off in age.
Presumably that's the mountain we're going up
I
to.
suppose.
There's a coffee shop and a loo. Oh, my Christmases have come at once.
Gonna have a little bit of Apfelschorle.
You went mad. You went absolutely mad. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have a little tax, a small nibble.
Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What is that?
Driving aid?
That's not the bit I was wondering
I
about.
haven't had those in like 5 years.
This was essential for driving, was that?
I think so.
Ah, the train's just arriving with the people coming from Italy. Yeah, we will fit in that. Feels a bit like a fairground attraction, like we're going on a ride. And we're off. Oh yes, look, they're all driving onto the train. What a strange thing. Here we are on one side of the mountain in Switzerland, and when we come out the other side, we'll be in Italy. Oh, majestically done.
I can't see on your side.
But you're fine, you've got space here. Gosh, it doesn't look like a new tunnel, does it? This has been going on for a while. Oh! This is exactly like being in Disneyland.
I was gonna say that Emma's Lake is like Dutch Disneyland.
I can't see you. I can't believe they've got no lights. You can just see the walls of the tunnel. This is like a health and safety nightmare. Like, you can just get out of the car and get mangled against the walls.
Well, that's a lovely thought, darling. Thank you.
Well, I mean, let's not do that, but
It did say do not get out of your car, so...
I can see why. I think we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
So there is light at the end of the tunnel.
After all,
Yes.
confirmed. And what I want to know is there Italian food at the end of the tunnel?
Probably.
Hello, Italy.
With my sunglasses.
How beautiful. This is not bad as a van trip. You know, having to go and pick up a bit of furniture in a van, I think this elevates the experience. The second we arrived, I wanted Italian food. That is a sight for sore eyes. Fondue with leek on pasta. Life is good. Pork and rosemary. Admittedly, I'm more used to having pasta as just the main course, but I could get used to this. That's a pretty nice backdrop on the van, which I'm about to get back into and back on the road after that meal that cost 15 euros. I love Italy. I got into the van and I realised I'm boiling now. It's super sunny. It was freezing this morning, so I shall just pop into my dressing room and get changed. That's better. Now it's a proper holiday, even if it's just a delivery trip. This has been a day for really surreal driving moments. That tunnel under the Alps, and now this. Just driving straight across the lagoon. We parked the van on Tronchetto, this island really just for parking. Goodbye massive parking garage, and hello Venice. Mixers are arriving just in time for Aperol Spritz time. This is our stop, and we'll be walking through the little streets to get to the tiny place we've rented. We've settled into the apartment and come straight to our favourite restaurant. I've gone for spaghetti alle vongole. Philip's got his favourite bolognese ragu here.
But it's in Wisconsin.
The starters were great, and now I've gone crazy. I'm having beef with avocado, rocket, and tomato, tuna and veal.
Yes.
It's actually really
And
good.
this is my like go-to order whenever we...
I think we're probably going to come back here tomorrow night, and I'll probably order
I'll probably have the same thing.
I can't believe I'm actually in a bed in Venice. I'm so happy right now, though I am in a slight pasta coma after today. And I'm feeling pretty glorious because we only had a couple of glasses of wine at dinner and they said we could bring the rest of the bottle home. So this feels very luxurious. The exhaustion is getting to both of us now from that long drive over a couple of days, but we do think there's time to watch just a little episode of the show we're watching at the moment on BBC iPlayer before going to sleep. We're watching Ghosts. That's the UK version. Apparently there's a US version as well, but it's really good fun.
Reminds me of Lalande.
Exactly, that's why we're watching. We wish that we did have Ghosts at Lalande telling us how to work the boiler and what year various wings were built, but we don't have that. So yeah, we like watching.
We've got Henri, but he's not very talkative.
Not talkative, he's not that chatty. Anyway, to be able to watch BBC iPlayer, I have to use NordVPN, both in France and of course here in Italy. So I'm very thankful that they've offered to sponsor today's video with this ad. For those of you who don't know what a VPN is, it hides where you are in the world, so you can choose to be in any other country and access the content usually only available in that country. It's incredibly easy to use. You can connect with just a single click and have it on up to 6 devices. So I have it on my phones, on my laptop, Philip has it on his iPad, and we even have it on our TV at home with the Amazon Fire Stick. So wherever we are, we can catch up with whatever show we're watching at the time. And the great thing about it is that as it's the fastest VPN on the planet, it doesn't give you constant buffering. But that's not the most important reason to use NordVPN. And in recent years, I've changed from using it just for content to using it for online security. It is a powerful threat protection tool. So as soon as we walked into the flat, I turned on NordVPN, and that way I can work on all of my admin knowing that my data is protected by next generation encryption. On top of that, their threat protection shields you from malware, trackers, and ads, and NordVPN will never share or track your data. I've been using NordVPN for years and I absolutely love it. And if you would like to try it for yourself, then go to nordvpn.com/Chateau Diaries for an exclusive deal. The best thing is it's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Okay, Philip, are you ready for some ghosts?
A little bit.
We deserve it after that time. Come on. Our first stop of the day is at Bevilacqua, and I just can't wait to tell you more about this place. It is a day as grey and rainy in Venice as it was in Lalande when we left, but it doesn't matter because we are surrounded by beauty. We are in Bevilacqua, and I brought you here to tell you more about the lots that we bought from the Bower. We bought the headboard, the bed crown, and the bed hangings, and all of the curtains from the bedroom of the Royal Suite in the Bower Hotel. I first saw the Royal Suite last year when we were here because Ollie and I had permission to film it for our new vlog, Travels with My Friend, that launched last week. That visit that we have to the Royal Suite will be on this week's video on Tuesday on Travels with My Friend. So if you want to see the room that we were so blown away by, you can watch that on Tuesday. And it was a dream we didn't want to leave. And then I couldn't believe it when a few months later I found out that the Bower was closing down for renovations and all of the contents were available. So of course I looked, and the entire Royal Suite was for sale. And one of the things that I loved the most in that suite is that very, very subtly, all of the fabric was huge bunches of peacock feathers with ribbons in the softest colours. As some of you will remember, a couple of years ago, I made a vlog about the fabrics of Fortuny, which are from Venice, known the world over. And there is another equally famous fabric house in Venice, Bevilacqua, a company that has been in the same family for 300 years. And we are in one of their 2 shops in Venice. And this is one of the old style merchants shops in Venice. Very few of them remain like this, with a huge door that could be kept open to show the wares, and then 2 windows, one on either side. 20 years ago, I came to Venice with my parents and we came to this shop and just couldn't believe everything running around. We managed to buy 1 tassel. And I can't believe that now we're going to have an entire room of Bevilacqua fabric. All of the curtains in the room, and the headboard, and the bedspread, and the valance for the bed. And I can't wait to show you when we go and collect it tomorrow and see it for ourselves, because it'll be the first time we've seen it since we filmed the Royal Suite. This is an antique Bevilacqua fabric, and as you can see, they're not wide, they're 60 centimetres wide, because they were made on antique hand looms that are still being used today. And they have original Fortuny fabrics in the shop too, but of course these are nowhere near as old as some of the Bevilacqua fabrics, which date back 300 years. Fortuny was about 100 years ago. And it just goes on through. It's an Aladdin's treasure trove. And do you remember last time we came into the shop last year, Philip?
Yes, we
were just looking at the cushions for hours with no idea that we would be able to be getting a whole room for Lalande. Look at this one.
I really like these 2. I think that maybe for the music salon. that for the Grand Salon in future.
I love this little one. That with the
very
curtains in the winter salon. We're having such fun in here. We're looking at the Anne Getty Interiors style book, and there's a lot of Bevilacqua fabric used throughout Anne Getty's house. And here, for example, you can see this pretty glorious green tiger, which is exactly the same fabric as this one, just in green. Oh yes, there it is in other colours too. There's red and white, but I must say I like the green. And here there's lots of pictures of the collaboration with Dolce and Gabbana. And this marvellous bottom is made with this fabric. I mean, it looks good as a cushion, but ooh, it's as good as trousers. But of all of the Dolce & Gabbana dresses, I think that one has to be my favourite. Christian Dior with lions again. And a Fendi baguette bag. It's just stunning. This one was made especially for Gucci many years ago, entirely made by hand. And there you can see how they used the fabric. There it is on the Gucci bag. This is one of Bevilacqua's fabrics called the Da Vinci Knot, and Prada have used it. They had their name put on it for their projects. It's been so fascinating to learn more about Bevilacqua fabrics in this beautiful town. That shop really has always shone out as this beacon of incredible artistry, craftsmanship and beauty and history. And to tell you a little bit more about Bevilacqua, we are going to go into Dolce & Gabbana. And I'd heard the changing rooms in the Venetian Dolce & Gabbana store were entirely lined with Bevilacqua fabric. So I've said that I'd like to try a couple of dresses on, and I've come in so that we can look at the changing room. One side is mirrored and the other 3 walls are covered in the Bevilacqua fabric. It's just so gorgeous. Because of the mirror, it feels as though it goes on forever. You see, it's these curves all the way along. So gorgeous. The softest velvet. Now, obviously, in order to show you this, I am going to have to try the dresses from the new collection on. This is going to be a real hardship for me. All of my little girl fantasies of dress up are being fulfilled right now. I have fallen in love with this dress. And look at the heels of the matching shoes. Sadly, this outfit is just a little bit more expensive than the headboard and bed crown, so I won't be going back with it, but I might just do a few more twirls in this room before going home. Dress number 2. Now, I am used to kitchen camo, so I'm used to just blending into my background, but I feel we've upped the camo game here. I am disappearing into the background, and I'm loving it. Dress number 3, and it's a full-on princess moment. And I still can't get over how delightful the heels are. I mean, look at the difference between this fabulousness and the shoes I came in wearing. Well, that was ridiculously good fun, but I'm back down to earth and back in my flat shoes, and we're just walking past the Bauer Hotel. It's so sad to see it all wrapped up like this. I can't wait to see what it's like after the transformation. And now we're off to find some lunch. We've been talking about these sandwiches for so long, and now I won't leave you in peace to eat the sandwich you've been dreaming of. As good as you remember? Now we're going to spend the afternoon just strolling around the city before probably just going back to our favourite restaurant this evening. It's our last night in Venice, and no surprise, Philip has gone for the spaghetti bolognese again. And admittedly, it's delicious, but I'm having scallops, and then I've ordered the lobster pasta. I'm just trying a different thing every time I come here. So you're admitting that I had a pretty great meal last night, and I'm going to be trying the lobster pasta. I'm just a little concerned that I need to use these implements, and I'm wearing a white dress. What could possibly go wrong?
Look, bleach was invented for a reason.
That's all well and good, but if it was good enough for my grandmother, it's good enough for me. I'm tucking this on. I thought I'd done so well. I was feeling quite smug, and then Philip just pointed this out.
Isn't that funny? That's one of the dresses I bought.
And a wise man once said to me, that's what bleach is for.
That is true.
You look quite tired at the end of a long day. The good news is, no heavy dessert, just sweet wine and biscuits.
That's you. I'm having an ice cream on the way back.
And you can have the sweet wine as well.
I have to drive tomorrow.
They've got coconut sorbet. It's so good.
This is so surreal. We just went to our local supermarket, hired a van, and the next thing we know, we're in Venice. I love living in Europe.
You have to leave early tomorrow, though.
Our 36 hours in Venice are over. We're back in a water taxi, going to the van which we left in the car park. We didn't want to collect the lots on the way into the city because we didn't want to leave them unattended in the van. So as soon as we've got the van, we're going to go and pick up the lots at the storage facility, which is just on the mainland, and then we start the long drive back to Lalande. But we can say one final goodbye to Venice. And at least this time we're taking a little piece of her back with us.
It's weird seeing cars again.
I didn't miss them, I'm going to be honest.
No, me neither.
Goodbye Venice. We're back onto the bridge, taking us to the mainland. We may not be in Venice anymore, but we've brought a little taste of it with us. Happy with your tuna? I think we've arrived.
Should I park here?
Yes, let's try and find a human being. We found it. I can't believe how stunningly beautiful it is. More so even than I remember it. And we have a couple of matching chairs, a lot of curtains, bedspreads, so much Bevilacqua fabric. I think over there are the blinds that are with it as well. I feel quite emotional. When we get back, I have got my work cut out before we can transform Bonne Maman, because we'll just be changing the curtains, putting the bed in place. But I bought some extra curtains so that I'll have enough fabric to make swags and tails, because I think swags and tails would look stunning in that room because it's such a high ceiling. At Lalande, because it's a very old chateau, we've got quite low ceilings on the ground floor, because in those centuries, people didn't live on the ground floor. They only lived on the first floor. And so the first floor, where the bedrooms are, weirdly has super high ceilings. It's really grand. So there I like to have proper swags and tails. There it goes, coming all the way to France with us. Are you trying to wrap yourself in cling film or the chair?
No, I'm
Bob, all right. It's already been cling film.
No.
I want to show everybody.
No.
Look, that's matching. The chair is matching. And here's a chest of drawers we got. We weren't going to get any of the furniture from the sale, but the sale was over several days, with the best things being sold at the beginning. For example, all of the royal suite was at the beginning, so day one. But then by day 5, things were going much, much more cheaply. And we knew we had to bring an entire van just to get a headboard and some curtains. And these chests of drawers we got for a ham price of €50 each. So for the bedrooms, it's going to be extremely useful. And it saves us from going back with an empty van as well. This one's coming home with us with a bit of original Venetian bird poo on it. That's got to be good luck. And we also got this little desk for €50. And the coolest little bit of furniture. This one is so sweet. It's got these fake books all the way around it.
I love this one.
I know. History of furniture. The minute I saw it,
Country
I
life.
knew that it would be perfect for, I would say, your cup of tea, but you don't drink tea. Your glass of water.
That's my crystal glass of water.
Wines of the world. Glass of wine.
Yeah, it's got to be a glass of wine, hasn't it?
Has to be.
There goes the little desk. It's going to be perfect in the attic bedroom that doesn't have one. It's a small room. I can't wait to see everything in place at Lalande. That took a really long time. It's 5 o'clock and we're only now getting onto the road, and it says we will arrive at 4:15 in the morning. And Philip was saying, well, no problem, we'll just drive through till 4 in the morning, we'll just be there.
Well, I said it will be.
I'm too old for this, Philip. I'm too old for it.
I said it'll be a little bit later because we have to stop for dinner and like a little stop.
Oh yeah, so let's get there at 6 in the morning, no problem at all.
No later than 5.
We're going to stop. We're going to stop in a motorway hotel to see how far we can drive, and then just stop somewhere, because I would just, by midnight, I think I'm going to need a little rest. Good morning from a random hotel by the side of the motorway somewhere in France. Because Philip and I drove as far as we could last night. So at 1:30 we stopped and just went to the nearest hotel on the motorway. We slept really well, and now we're going to hit the road again. We get back to Lalande today and we can start to see some of the things in place. And I really want to go to Bonne Maman before the guests arrive for the weekend to try and hold up the curtain fabric and just see how it's going to look in the room. We did it. Oh, my poor windscreen. Wow, that is in a state after this journey. But there is a gorgeous sight if we can just about see beyond the windscreen. Home sweet home.
Oh, I miss me back.
It was worth it though.
Yes.
We've only been gone 5 days, and in that time the place is transformed. The leaves look huge now. Everything is so green. The alliums are out. I love living here. I'm so happy to be home. Right, we have got our work cut out. Philip's putting the blinds away into our fabric cupboard. I'm gonna have to be getting the sewing machine out soon. We're trying to find somewhere we can actually drape it, because when we're trying to look at it, there's always one of us standing in the way. The colour is perfect. It looks as though it was made for this room. So it's always been in here. And look at the peacock feathers. We have Thor in the bedroom and the bluebell woods in the bathroom. Although they're Italian, they bring in so much of the French design. Obviously, there's Thor, which is very Lalande, but also the 18th century idea of bows and bouquets of flowers. I think that's perfect for Bonne Maman. It's a very feminine fabric, and this is one of our very feminine bedrooms because it was the Marquise's bedroom. Actually, we got really lucky because when we were there and we were packing everything up, they said that the wall fabric, it had originally, the whole bedroom in the royal suite had had this on the walls as well. They had cut lots of the wall fabric down. It was just scraps. And they said, well, we have nothing to do with this. Would you like to take it? So we have a lot of extra fabric, couldn't be used for anything else because it had just been cut from the areas it was around the walls. But it means that I definitely will have enough to make quite spectacular swags and tails of this now.
So you're going to be making curtains again?
I know, I'm back to making curtains. After making 100 curtain drops when I first moved to Lalande, it took me a couple of years. I made all of the curtains in this room, all of the palmettes, pretty much in the whole chateau. I'm going to be back at it. I'll get the old curtain making books out. Over this chair, I've draped one of the round tablecloths that came with everything. And that's just to show you the other scale. So the curtain we looked at had huge peacock feathers, a lot of just plain peach background. But the headboard and the bedspread and the tablecloths have this much smaller print. I like the difference between the two. I think it adds quite a lot more delicacy. So there'll be a lot of this scale in the room as well. And I can't imagine how lovely it'll be when Bonne Maman has a huge headboard like this with a bed crown above it, though. It's a much smaller bed crown for that room. This is the fabric that they gave me for free. You can see where it's just being cut off the wall because it was the wall fabric. There's many, many meters here, so I think the swags and tails are going to be something to behold if I get them right. And I had no idea how much Bevilacqua fabrics were. So I asked when I was in the shop and they said it depends whether it's their handmade fabrics or their machine-made fabrics. Now, the handmade fabrics start at €2,500 a metre. This is not a handmade fabric. This is a machined fabric. And apparently those start at €700 a metre. I have meters and meters and meters, the amount of curtains that I got. Really, I feel this was the bargain of the century. Philip has set up the little round table in his study. I just want to look at all of the little titles. It's just quite frustrating. I mean, I want to read Great Gardens, but no, I can't get at it. Jane Eyre, Peter Pan, it's a good collection, actually. And it's going to be quite useful storage. I'm not sure where it's going to go long term, but it's actually really pretty there. And he's also brought the headboard up here because we have a huge bed in this room that has to leave this room anyway. Because the bathroom for this room, which is just through there, is going to be knocked through. We're going to lose this alcove. This whole bathroom is going to become our dressing room. My current dressing room is going to become part of my study. So my study will finally get its original proportions back. And all of that means that there will no longer be a bed in here. So this is the bed that will go to Bonne Maman. The bed in Bonne Maman will go to Natty's apartment. And we just put the headboard here so you can see it up. With the bedspread, I accidentally got one of the single bedspreads out. We bought the double bedspread for it. And then we thought, well, what if there's a spill? We might need more. And there were just two other single ones. So we got those as well. And that way I can make two bedspreads that fit, because this fabric was a special run by Bevilacqua for the Bower Hotel in their last big renovation. I'll never be able to buy any more of it. This is it. So I tried to get all of the bits that I could to be a bit future-proof. I want all of our guests to feel like princes and princesses when they come and stay here. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to give that effect, because they're at a chateau, not at a modern hotel. I don't want Lalande to feel like a modern renovation inside an old building. I really want it to feel like stepping back in time and really eclectic and quite luxurious for people. And weirdly enough, this is actually from the bedroom that King Charles and Camilla stayed in at the Bower when they were in Venice. So it is properly going to be the royal suite in Bonne Maman. I want to run around the house and put all of the little chests of drawers and desks that we got in place, but it's going to have to wait for tomorrow because today's actually Thursday, the day that this video is going out, and our guests have started to arrive. Maria's going to be giving her piano concert any minute now, so I have to quickly freshen up and go meet everyone. I think someone's told Thor about the new decoration in Bonne Maman. Yeah, you know that we're doing a whole bedroom because of you? Oh, wow. I love the sound. Yes, I think a lot of people who don't live with peacocks, they know that they make this beautiful display, but they don't realise that sound they make with their feathers. And there we go, show's over. I thought it was only fitting to continue the theme of the day with peacock feathers.
Prelude to Cheese, as Monsieur likes to call it. And I'll be playing 4 different pieces, character pieces, in contrasting styles. First, the piece that you like, from an opera.
Hamel?
Yeah, by Hamel.
Love it.
Called The Gallant Indies. And then I'll play another piece which has a very cute and adorable title. It's called Tender Complaints.
Oh.
Thank you all for joining us on our epic road trip to Venice. I'd like to remind all of my patrons that this week's patron video has Tatinette cooking up a storm in the kitchen, Maria and Ricardo arguing over who has the best jacket, my grandmother's plate that was gifted to Philip by my aunt, my uncle finding Nemo, and some ludicrous dancing in the kitchen. And I'd like to say a special thank you to Amy Bennett, Jill Bidwell, Denise Benakovich, Candice Blackburn, and Candice Ned Borkowski. Thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you again from Lalande on Sunday.